So you say Shirley just came by?
Well, they were on their way to see a great-grandchild last,
Oh yeah.
so they kind of scheduled, she only stayed 5 minutes.
Was it with Uncle Pax?
Yeah, but he waited down in the car. So she just ran up and brought me those pretty white poinsettias.
Oh, those are great.
Aren't they nice?
And you say she brought up a memory what was the memory?
Well, that my dad was very meticulous about things. He wanted them neat and orderly. And he, of course, was in charge of the yard. And so he didn't want any dandelions in the lawn. So we would get, if we dug 100 dandelions, we could get a dime.
Wow.
And so I used to do quite a bit. And then I'd run up. We had the grocery store that was, you went up to that University Avenue, and there was a sort of a neighborly grocery store that was on the corner there. I always went right up and spent it for candy.
Right away.
So it was fun to be reminded of that.
Oh yeah. So what was your favorite kind of candy to get?
Oh, something with chocolatey.
Oh yeah. So 100 dandelions. Did you ever do more than 100 at a time?
I don't think so. That seemed to be enough. You know, you're kneeling
Oh
and
yeah.
bent over and all.
So did he count them and make sure you had 100?
Oh no,
He took your word
trusted
for
us.
it. Good.
He trusted us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, and we wouldn't be able, not for him.
So what brought up that memory when you guys were talking?
She did.
Oh yeah.
I said, do you remember anything we did when we were growing up? And that was, she came right up with it, even though she only had about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Did you tell her that we've been doing this interview? Yeah. Well, I made a list of all your grandchildren.
Oh.
That way we can go through. I thought we'll start. We were going to see if you could do them off the top of your head, but I didn't want to put you to the test because I know you can do it.
This takes me a little while.
Well, I have a cheat sheet for you here. We can start from youngest to oldest. We know Betsy and Larry. That's easy. Hannah. Now, Brian and Pam. Do you know how many they have off the top of your head?
I only have 5. But, oh no, two. Brian and Pam. Yeah. Not off the top of my head. I have to stop and think.
Exactly. So that's why I made the list here. So we've got one. I'm just going to have you read from top to the bottom. Just read the names of all your grandchildren, starting with Paul and Joanne.
All right. Jenny, Lisa, Jim, Ann, Parker, Benjamin, Emily, and Brian. And Jim has Eli, Rachel, Ray, Becky, Seth, and Jonathan. Ann has Nathan, Andrew, Paul, Susanna, Elizabeth, and Alex. And Brian and Pam, Simon and Melissa, and Betsy and Larry, Hannah.
Not bad.
I can still read.
Sure can. I won't make you go through and name all their spouses. Or their children, your great-grandchildren.
Well, I was just thinking how many, Emily and Brian aren't married yet. Out of Paul's, I'm trying to remember about Benjamin. He's not, is he?
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite a few, though. Quite a posterity.
Oh, boy. I haven't counted up the great-grandchildren
Great-grandchildren.
yet.
I don't know, but Paul and Joanne, they may have just as many grandchildren as you have. Maybe more.
Yeah.
In fact, I think they might have more. Well, you know, we found out we're having a little girl.
Oh, that's nice.
So, in May.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so Abby will get a little sister.
Oh, won't that be nice?
Yeah, she was very excited. So we
I think it's nice, sort of two of the same sex together.
It'll be like your family, 3 boys and 2 girls. It'll be exactly like you guys.
That's right. You only had the one girl, didn't you?
Yeah, we have 1 girl and then the 3 boys.
Well, that's she's going to get a sister.
Really? Oh, there's Elizabeth calling. 1 second. So Any funny childhood memories of Paul when he was little or growing up?
Are you talking, oh, you're talking about my son, not my husband.
Right, yeah.
Didn't know him when he was growing up.
Exactly. Yeah, your son, Paul. Any funny memories that come
You
to
know,
mind?
about 5 years ago, I think I could have done this a lot better.
Yeah, that's true. This isn't fair.
He was pretty good kid. He didn't fight too much with Jim. They got along pretty well. They were quite different.
Do you remember when he told you he was going to be a dentist?
It was, I guess he'd already, no, maybe he was just starting college when he told me that. Which I thought was fine.
Well, Grandpa's brother was a dentist, right?
Uh-huh.
So did your kids all believe in Santa Claus?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the whole thing.
So when did they finally stop believing?
Yeah, we carried along pretty far. When did you stop believing?
I can't remember the exact age. Sometime in elementary school, you know, you
Mhm.
kind of start putting things
Yeah.
together. My little brother Paul, he really liked to sneak around the house and look for presents.
Mm-hmm.
And he liked to be the first person awake in the morning. He'd wake up about 4 o'clock in the morning and go look around and just see the quiet Christmas
Oh,
tree.
really?
Oh yeah, and then he would come wake me up. But that was his favorite thing to do.
Well, I think our limit time was about 6 o'clock. I don't think we could get up before then. But we were awake and waiting usually.
Christmas morning. Yeah. What are you reading here? David O. McKay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good book?
Yeah, I've only read a little bit. Have to get back to it.
That's good. Susanna said you've been going to the church here.
Oh, yes.
How do you like that?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. They have, they don't all live here.
Oh yeah.
They're doing it. Some of the positions are people that live here, but mostly they're younger. That's good. I'm glad they have it here, and I don't have to go out someplace.
Yeah.
We only have one meeting. We don't have any more, but I appreciate it being here. Easy to go, and it doesn't start until 9:45, which makes, actually, they have Relief Society before that, and I haven't been getting ready and going down to that, which I should do, I guess.
So you get down there in time for sacrament meeting?
Well, it's all one, just one meeting.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So,
Have,
I'm always down there for that.
and have you enjoyed it?
Oh, a Sunday meeting?
Yeah.
Well, I've done it all my life. I do, I guess. I can't imagine not doing.
Have they asked you to speak?
No.
Well, that's neat. What do you like? Do you like singing?
The hymns. I enjoy the hymns.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're able to go.
Oh, I am too. And I'm glad it's here, and there wouldn't be a problem of. Though actually, they do provide some transportation. Not everybody here's a Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are a couple other churches that they provide transportation to.
You haven't ventured out and gone on those ones?
Oh, heavens, no. In fact, I've never even thought of it.
Well,
Have you attended other churches?
yeah, I have. I've been to a Catholic church a few times. Of course, when I was on my mission, a couple times someone said, hey, you come to our church and we'll come to your church.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
And so I said, okay, I'll give it a try. But I've been to Jewish services and Muslim services
that should be
in
interesting.
medical school. And then I've been to quite a few different non-denominational Christian churches, and I've tried to get a feel for most of the religions.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
I haven't done that.
it's a good experience.
Don't know much about them.
I always like coming back
Yes.
home.
Yeah.
So,
Just trying to think. It seems like I did on one occasion go to a Methodist church, but I can't. There was in Durham. It was what they call the branch. It was a small group, but it was organized well, went well.
yeah. Are the people here nice down at the meetings?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I haven't met any people here that were nice, really.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So, like we said, memories of your kids.
I wish my mind remembered better, but see, my memory's really gotten very bad.
That's okay. I remember a story about Uncle Brian breaking his arm at the elementary school,
Oh, yeah.
falling off the bars.
Mhm. Wish I remember what other broken bones we might have had. There were a few. Someone broke their wrist, I can't remember.
Did you have any kids that got sick very often, or were they pretty healthy?
They were fairly healthy.
Was there ever a time where you were the most scared about one of your kids?
Probably, I think there may have been times in high school. But never, nothing I worried about ever happened. So.
They all did pretty well for themselves. I got a list of some interesting questions that my mother-in-law gave me for good interviews. What's your most memorable vacation?
I have to think so.
Did you go on vacations when you were a kid?
See, we had the canyon home, a Pro Canyon, and we never went on vacations. We just moved up there. We usually not till after the 4th of July, sometimes before, but because June was really too cold up there. But we didn't travel when I was growing up.
What's your favorite thing about the brown cabin?
Well, it was quite different when I was growing up, because it was really a small cabin. But it was just, I guess it was 2 rooms, kitchen and a kind of a bedroom, living room. And then you had the one across the creek with more beds. But I think we did a lot of reading up there. Yeah. And we'd go down to the river and swim. That was what was fun every day, was swimming in the river.
Do you remember when your dad was building it?
No, the remodeling of the first, he didn't do that himself.
Oh, okay.
It was quite a rebuilding. You know what it's like now.
Yeah.
And what used to be the bedroom and the kitchen is what it used to be.
Mm-hmm. So you spent all your summers up. Did you sleep upstairs?
We didn't have an upstairs.
Oh, you didn't?
When I was growing up.
Oh, really?
It was just the 2.
Oh.
We had some, I think we slept some on the floor, because there weren't a lot. Well, there were with the beds across the street. I guess not too much. I guess there were almost enough beds. I think we had a couch that made out.
Yeah. So would your dad just drive down and go to work and come back up?
He would not come up every night.
Oh, so your mom was always up there.
But yeah, we will move there. But he did the grocery shopping, keep us food on Saturdays before he would come up. But he worked. He only took Saturday afternoon off.
What did he do for a living?
He was a lawyer.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah. He didn't go to law school till after he was. My mother's father was a lawyer, and then he became a judge, and I'm sure that's what sort of influenced my dad. But he didn't go to law school till after he married Mother, and he had to go to another year or 2 of college to be ready, to be prepared to go to law school. But and she was here, or she was in Provo, and he was back in Chicago going to law school.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure he was glad he did.
And so do you remember taking your children to Wildwood?
Yeah. I used to go. I think they enjoyed it.
Any other vacations you guys went on with your kids?
Well, I think living in Japan was quite different than living here. And when on the trip, we would usually stop in Hawaii for a couple of days.
Oh, wow.
That made the trip really more interesting. And in Japan, I had a maid, actually. They called them house girls. That they were just sort of provided us. Of course, we didn't handle the expenses of our place to live or anything. And so I actually had a maid.
Wow. Pretty nice.
It was
Never,
quite different.
never had that in Ventura, did you?
No. So that was an interesting experience over there. Where we lived was actually American housing. You know, occupation had been there for a while. They had built a lot of homes, American homes, right by the military base that was there in Hiroshima. Yeah. So didn't get too big a flavor of living like the Japanese did.
Can you think of a most embarrassing moment you've ever had?
I know there have been some. I wish my memory wasn't as bad as it is now. But,
Well, you seem to be able to remember the most important things. That's good.
I think we had a bush. This is when I was growing up. We had a bush in the front of the house that at a certain time of year had kind of a berry on it. And I spent, well, maybe I've told you before, that I spent many, many days at my cousin's house that lived a block away, where we played paper dolls.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, I'd come home in the afternoon, and these berries were squashed all over the sidewalk. And I saw two that hadn't been squashed, so I stepped on them. But when Dad came home and saw that mess, he was really bothered. He talked tall and really, and I said, I didn't do any. And someone saw me stepping on those two berries. And I thought, since they were already on the sidewalk and it was only two, that it didn't count. That's the only time I ever lied to him. And I got told off. And a talking to.
Did he turn the shoe over and look at them?
No. Anyway, that's one time I remembered lying. Yeah, it wasn't a very big one, but it counted.
Made you not want to do it again?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite holiday?
It's probably Christmas.
Why would you say Christmas?
Because it's kind of exciting. It used to be.
It is.
What's your favorite holiday?
I'd say probably Christmas. Family
It's
together.
yeah, and it's really the biggest one. There's a build up to it. And really good one.
Well, you always did a good job of making Christmas special for all the grandkids with your very special shopping and sending gifts.
Well, sorry I had to give that up. It was fun when you were young.
When we were young, yeah, we don't need it.
Yeah.
We don't need it like that anymore. Now it's our job to do that. Do you have a favorite book?
Oh, I like lots of books. I think my favorite book growing up was Little Women. I think it was Alcott.
Louisa May Alcott?
Yeah, because it was about a group of girls, sisters, all together. And I think that was my favorite book when I was growing up.
And then how about, or in the last, as an adult, what's been your favorite book?
Oh, I've read so many that I can't recall, but
Any favorite stories that you read to your children?
when they were growing up, I knew a lot of the old stories, like the Three Bears, and you know that one, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And there were quite a few just sort of little simple fairy tales that I could tell them. Then I did some reading. But those details are kind of gone.
Yeah. How about favorite movie?
I don't know.
Any movies stand out that you loved growing up?
Back. Oh, clear back. I've forgotten them.
Who's the most famous person you've ever met? You ever met anyone famous?
Well, I think the most famous person, I guess, was Heber J. Grand.
Oh,
He was
really?
a relative.
Yeah, where did you meet him?
Oh, I think he was actually at our house once. And, we were in Salt Lake again, and I met him. But he was the most famous that I
Yeah.
know.
Do you remember anything specific about him?
He seemed like a very nice person. I thought he was quite handsome.
Was he the president of the church at that time?
Yeah, I may have met him once before he was president of the church.
And then he was a distant relative?
And my grandmother's sister was his wife.
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard some great stories about him.
Well, he was sort of a relative by marriage.
Yeah. Have you ever met any favorite movie stars or favorite famous politicians?
Shoot. I wish I could remember.
Have you ever met a president?
No.
Never met Barack Obama?
Nope.
George Bush?
No.
If,
All that didn't meet Eisenhower or Roosevelt or any of Nixon.
if you could have lunch with 3 famous people in history, who would it be?
You'd have had a list of these questions and really time to think about it.
That's a hard one, but I've been asked that question before in an
What was
interview.
your answer?
Well, I think I said, it'd be pretty interesting to have lunch with Jesus Christ,
Oh, my goodness.
if you had a chance.
Yes.
Maybe George Washington or Lincoln.
Yeah, I think Abraham Lincoln would be interesting to have a real visit with.
Joseph Smith would be interesting. I thought it'd be interesting to eat lunch with one of the Beatles.
Oh, I never thought of that.
So if you could pick 3 people, who do you think you'd eat lunch with?
That are still here?
They don't need to still be here.
I think some author, maybe T.S. Eliot would be interesting to really talk with. I'm trying to think of any other authors I know. They're the people I've been most interested in because I've always liked to read, and they're the names that I've known that were pretty well known that I never knew in person.
Any movie stars that you think would be fun to talk to?
What I need is a list of movie stars saying that.
Well, there's always Robert Redford,
Oh, yeah. Well, now,
Paul Newman.
now Robert Redford, for some reason, I may have met him, or something. There was some connection. Was he from Utah?
He has a connection to Sundance.
Oh, that's it. You see,
And Betsy knew him.
yeah, Wildwood we used to drive on up to Sundance some. And I think I did meet him up there. Because that was just not too much further than Wildwood. I'm glad you remembered the Sundance, yeah. I'm sure I did meet him up there.
Any famous politicians you would think would be interesting to have lunch with?
I can't think of any of their names. Who's the woman? Let's see, there's a woman senator. You think of. And who's the woman that, isn't there a woman that was running for president?
Well, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I think she'd be interesting to have lunch with.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
I've always liked an awful lot of foods. I couldn't tell you just one.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed eating.
Oh, good.
We had, one thing that was a little different. We had our main meal at noon, always. And my dad would come home from work, walk home from work. And then at night, Mother would set us a place for Dad at the table and put out bread and milk and some, maybe a little something left over from dinner or all. But we just made our own meal at night. Make yourself a peanut butter sandwich or something. But it was, of course, when you were really little, Mother took care of you, but after you got along with it, you just took care of yourself for supper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think people do it that way anymore.
Yeah. Dinner's probably a little bit bigger now.
Mm-hmm. Well, people aren't available at noon, so.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it was 6.5 blocks walk home from school.
Mm-hmm.
And we had about an hour and 10 minutes. So I was quite a fast eater back in those days.
Yeah. So do you think you want to go visit the beach house or visit Ventura again?
Oh, I want to get back down to the beach house again. Definitely.
What would you like to do if we go down?
Oh, walk along the beach. Maybe even go wading.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Mm-hmm.
Any places you'd like to visit in Ventura?
We just kind of drive around and through our old street and different places. I'm sure it's changed quite a bit.
What was your favorite part of the backyard in Palomares?
Oh, the trees. Mm-hmm.
How many kinds of trees did you have?
Orange, lemon, and avocado.
That wasn't your average avocado tree, was it?
I don't know what an average avocado tree is like. It was a very good one. It was a big one.
Didn't it have 3 different types spliced in?
Mm-mm. Oh.
I thought Grandpa grafted
maybe.
some in.
That could have been. That might have been. Anyway.
Well,
I really like living in Ventura. If I'd had any family I'd stayed down there, I would have stayed. Mm-hmm.
well, it's good to have you around here, but do you think about Grandpa a lot?
Well, quite a bit. I'm not obsessed at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have happy memories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've already told you how I got my first date with him.
Uh-huh. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
What's your personal belief of where he is right now? What do you think he's doing?
Well, I think of heaven and an afterlife. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think he would have found something to do. He didn't like just sitting around. I don't know what you do out there, though.
Do you think you'll see him again?
When I go?
What do you think that'll be like?
Oh, heavens. It'll be nice. That's one thing that'll be nice about dying.
I always think when I die, I'll see my older brother David,
Mm-hmm.
my mom's first baby. I'll see Grandma B, all my previous great-grandparents. I think it'll be a neat reunion.
I think it should be fun. Yeah. See my sisters that went early.
tend to think, it seems like they can look down at us and watch
No,
our
but
lives.
I think of them knowing what's going on down here for some reason.
It's a comforting feeling.
Uh-huh.
I think they probably enjoy when we're happy. Yeah. Well, you've given us a great family. We have a lot of loved ones around us.
Well, I've been very fortunate with my children.
The Fillmore family is a good heritage.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I felt very blessed with my children.
Where are the ancestors from? Do you know? The Fillmores
Well,
and the Brockbanks?
I think both of us go back to England. They have some Scottish, they were Scottish for a while. But
Yeah.
both of the Brockbanks and the Boos came from England. Well, that they were in the middle of the United States. They made that trip across the plains from Nauvoo,
So they were all early pioneers, weren't they? It's quite a heritage.
Yeah, it is. It is. There was one pioneer story that was a favorite of mine, and again.
Was that the one about the wagon wheel?
Oh, maybe.
Susanna Winters?
That's one.
And then they reroute the railroad?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's one of mine. I like to remember.
Yeah, her grave was marked with a wagon wheel.
Right.
And the Union Pacific.
When they were laying it out, it's going to go right across it.
And what would they do?
They went back and rerouted. They had to go back quite a ways and kind of just weird. So.
That's pretty neat.
And then they put a monument up, fence around it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting ancestor story.
Oh, I agree. Well, do you have any advice that you would give for your children and grandchildren?
Well, I think they need to think about, kind of evaluate what they're doing with their children, and see if they need to learn more, and just be sure they're control their temper. I think raising children is about the most important thing we do.
It's not easy.
No, but that's why you have to work at it.
Yeah.
Being a good parent, I mean, you have to work at that.
Yeah.
It doesn't like it just comes naturally. You're that way all the time. No, I think that's where you build the most discipline and self-control, is when you become a parent. I think that's very character building.
I agree.
Well, I'll probably think of some interesting story after you've gone, but right now.
You let me know.
I think I already did tell you, about spending so much my time when I was in grade school at my cousin's place instead of at home.
And what was her name?
Phyllis.
Did you guys stay close after you were married too?
No, because
Moved on.
I left. Once I got married, I was never really back living in Fillmore. So, but we'd write letters at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just wrote to her yesterday.
Oh, really? Wow. So if today you had a big family reunion with all your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, what do you think you'd say to everybody if everyone was gathered
Oh,
around?
if I had to give a speech.
Yeah. You like speeches?
No, not that I have to give.
Well, what do you think you'd say if we said, okay, you're in charge, you're responsible for all this?
feel they're all doing well. I don't feel like I have to preach to them much. It'd be just nice to enjoy being with them and not have to give that kind of a thing, do that kind of thing.
Well, I know one thing that they would all say to you. They'd say, "Thank you, and we love you."
Well, that's very nice of them.
Every one of them.
Well, I feel like I've been very blessed with my children and grandchildren and the next ones.
That's good.
So often, I'll hear someone, of course the group here is where they've got families and grandchildren and all, and often the talk at mealtime is about someone in your family, but so often I'll sit with someone who's got kind of a sad tale about someone in their family. It's been very difficult and worrisome, and I just think how lucky I've been.
Yeah. Well, it's been great talking to you. I'll just wrap it up. You've been very patient.
Well, I wish I could remember things better than I can.
Well, you got the important things. So we'll let you sign out. Say goodbye to the video.
Oh, goodbye. Nice to be with you. Turn it off.
Okay. Merry Christmas, Grandma.
Oh, I could have said that, couldn't I?
We'll give you one last chance.
Okay, Merry Christmas. Have a good holiday. Oh, one bit of advice. Maybe I already told you this, that Mother used to, I think I already told you this, used to say, when there was some problem, she'd take one and say, "You be the good one." And you feel quite noble if you were the good one.
Well, that'll be a good closing note.
Okay.
You be the good one.
All right.
Bye, Grandma.
Bye.
Well, thanks for your time, Grandma.
You're certainly welcome. I've enjoyed it.
I sure love you.
Well, thank you, dear. I love you. I love you. Okay.